I can't help but be a bit irritated tonight because I was supposed to respond to an email before this stream started, but YouTube, for whatever reason, decided to completely change over all of my streamer settings from last night. So I can't help but be a little bit irritated because it kept telling me this error that was that I was using that two streams had the same key. I hadn't changed anything. I even reused the settings from last night's stream. And it seemed to think that I was reusing some settings from a stream that I set up a long time ago and never used. I never set a date on it, like default setting type things. So I've always set it up and then had to verify settings, then hit go live. For whatever reason, it ignored the stream that I had on the screen because it had thrown that error. And as soon as I started streaming, it threw me into another one that I was like, I don't even know what this thing is. And then it automatically went live. So I'm looking at this, like, what's going on? So I'm a little on the irritated side because YouTube is messing with me tonight already. Hi, Levi. How's it going? But that's okay. I'm going to put that past me. It's YouTube being YouTube. I am trying to see what will happen. I'm trying to do the 24p stream tonight. It was recommended last night. I think I have the bandwidth easily for 30 FPS, but I'm going to at least try the 24 and see how that goes. But yeah, so I'm a little on the thrown off side by that. I was recording a voiceover for my next video, hopefully if I can get it done, for about 4 hours today, maybe about 3.5. And I just was like, you know what? I'm not going to go back and do the last, probably hour of it tonight. Maybe after the stream I'll do it. But right now I'm just so not in the mood. It's after doing so much earlier today. We'll see. But I thought I'd, hop in here tonight, answer questions if anybody had it. Last night it seemed to be a pretty popular topic. As a matter of fact, we even started the stream. Before I even started it, I had 2 questions already in here, and I thought that was really funny. That has never happened before. So, does that fit? Kind of. I don't know. I'm kind of in a frisky mood right now. Is that a word? Or am I misusing it right? Miswording it? I don't know. I'm a little on the irritated side because of this YouTube mess. But so someone distract me. Say something to distract me. Ask me a question that will get me excited. Ask me whatever. I know what will make me excited. The ZipFizz will. I'm going to go do my regular routine of unwrapping the ZipFizz. And tonight it is fruit punch. It's not my favorite flavor to go straight with. Grape, at least of the main 3. But we'll see what happens. We have 8 people in here tonight. As I mentioned last night, in case anybody missed it, I've been trying to think about it. One of the things that a lot of people they do is they bounce in, they watch a video on my channel. To a certain degree, it goes over their heads sometimes, and then they leave. Well, one of the things that I've been toying with the idea of probably for about 6 or 7 months was doing kind of an introductory basic audio series where I kind of explain basic techniques, including things and ways that people don't normally do, because that's who I am, right? I'm the guy that doesn't normally explain things the same way as others. So I'm going to kind of do a basics of audio series and kind of explain basics in a very, very simple way. And hopefully, that might make some of the more basic concepts of audio a little more, I guess you could say, understandable. Because there's a lot of times I'm asked very, very simple questions, and I keep saying, I don't understand how you could come to my channel, watch all my videos on whatever, on measuring EIN and not understand a basic concept. So I'm going to start some of those and see what happens. Okay, so we have Andreas in here again. How's it going? You saw I was complaining that YouTube has totally changed my settings overnight, and it completely messed me up earlier because it never ever in the past has ever started to stream automatically. And it also was throwing an error telling me that I was overlapping another streaming setting, which I've never changed. So I don't know why it decided to do that. But anyway, so it says, hello, you look like a Sith Lord. Well, I'll tell you, I am a huge Star Wars fan, and I always wear black on set. So the joke always is, Darth Vader. As a matter of fact, I have right there the screen accurate Darth Vader suit. I could probably get a picture and show it to you if you have any interest in seeing it. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Do I wear gloves when I boom? Not usually. Usually, I don't like to. The exception is if it's really cold weather, I'll wear gloves outside simply because, it's more comfortable on the hands. If there is a stunt and it involves explosion or fire or something like that, I will use it. I will wear gloves for protection purposes. I will sometimes wear gloves if it's really hot on set and my hands are starting to sweat and slip on the boom, but that's extremely rare. Most of the time, though, I don't like to because it's just, really annoying. Learnable? LOL. I guess I said something goofy. What's a hertz? What's a hertz? It's what you get when you ask dumb questions. How's that? Yeah, do it. Okay, so Basics in Audio series is going to be coming up. And I'll probably do one of my regular videos, and then I'll do a basics video. If I can, I'll try to get that done later in the week, so that way I can try to stay on a regular schedule. But we'll see what happens. I'm getting to the point where I'm in negotiations for 2 shows, but they might not start for about a month and a half or so, whichever one we take. So who knows? I may end up may end up doing something just for temp work in the meantime. We'll see what happens, I guess. How are you tall enough to play Darth Vader? Not really. Not really at all. It's but you know what? I make a fun Darth Vader because I'll tell you, I have one of the Darth Vader helmets that you can see out the 2 holes there, and then it has the triangle, and you can see out that too. And the last time I wore the Vader suit, I made the mistake of wearing it when it was starting to go dark, and I can't see jack crap outside. And people kept bringing up their kids and standing them right in front of me as I'm walking. So all of a sudden I plow into a kid and I'm like, what was that? There was nothing there. And then I started to realize that I could see about 2 feet in front of me if I looked through the mouth triangle. So I started doing that, and it was kind of funny because people were just like, oh man, buddy, did you see him there? I'm like, no, I didn't. You walked him right in front of a guy wearing a big mask. Of course I didn't. It was funny. I know the year I wore the Vader outfit. It was in 2016. There's 2017. Where's 2016? I'll find it and I'll show you. No, that was before. Okay, now we're starting to get close. There's Christmas 2016. Back on up. It's after this. No, it was before that. Because that was the joke that I got a hat. The MAGA hats that say "Make America Great Again." I got one that says "Make set quiet again," because I was on a very noisy. Walking Dead was getting very noisy at that time because everyone was just kind of crazy. So I was like, "Make set quiet again" was the hat that I had made, and wear something like that on a film set, and people instantly think you're wearing a MAGA hat, and they snap their heads over and look at you because they're about to tell you off. Because film people have no risk, no care in the world for anything that is not highly left wing. So it's really funny because as soon as I was wearing this red hat, they're all like looking to make sure it's not a MAGA hat. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'm going to wear a MAGA hat on set. That'd be funny. But anyway, I'm looking for the pictures right now. It wasn't where it should be. Those are pictures of me standing at Bruce Lee's grave. And there's me in Alaska. Back on up, back on up. I'll find it in a second, guys. Sorry about this. I will find it. Cobra Kai. That was the Halloween before. Or that was the Halloween after. Why is it there? Why are these so far out of sync? I have no idea. I know I could find it a lot easier on my phone. I might just do that here in a second and take some more questions in the meantime. Because right now, how many pictures are in this folder? 3,016. So I might not do this right now because I'm blabbing away and not answering anything. So let's see. Ellen, I know I bought an ambient locket, so now I went on their site and seen that they have a quick pole boom. Stretches 6.4 meter. Now I am no boom operator, but just general inquiry. Okay. Well, I do know Ambient has a new line of quick pole boom. What is it called? Quickset 5 series. They've had the QL, the QS, the QX, the QXS, and the Q. Now, no, wait a minute. There was the QL, QX, QXS, QP, and the QS, which I guess they're calling the QXS and the QX series the same, because they're now doing a quick pole 5 series, I believe. And I'll be honest with you, it doesn't make me overexcited because it's got more segments. Yes, it's stiffer, but it's got more segments and they're thicker. It seems to me like they're almost emulating a K-Tech Classic pole, which I'm not a fan of. It's got wider segments, so you can actually thread through a cable straight through it with a quick release tip, by unscrewing the top, and that's really not necessary in my opinion. I mean, but I'm just going to stick to my QS poles. There was Redo was in here last night, and he was talking about a pole that he's designing. He told me a little bit about it. He shot me a message through Facebook today, and he was talking about it. It sounds interesting. I have a couple of ideas that when we end up talking, I'm going to throw them at him, because I think he's onto something, but it may need a little bit of tweaking, let's say. So if you're talking about the new ambient boom pole, the Quickset 5 series, I believe it's called, whatever that's called, I believe you can get that one. So, I mean, I don't know when they're releasing that one. I saw that part of the Sound Summit that was in April, they kind of announced it. They had another product they were going to be announcing at NAB, but when NAB was canceled, they just decided not to do that. So thought about the poll. I have not seen the new poll. It looks interesting from what they show online. It's not going to be my thing if it's changing the ambient way, which is going to be a thicker segment. It's going to be more segments. It's basically everything you heard me say yesterday in the live stream about that I loved about ambient. They've changed that on the new Quick series, the Quickset Series 5. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I could be totally off and say, oh, wow, look at this. This is still ambient. I love it. But it's very interesting to me because it seems like almost like a hybrid of the ambient way and like a K-Tech Classic. So we'll see what happens. Sorry, Yolu. I don't know what that means. What's your best gaff tape trick for audio if you have one? My best gaff tape trick? What do you mean by that? I mean, if you're talking about taping down cables, I actually have a video about taping down cables and carpets. And it's I can post a link if you've not seen that one, but it's a pretty informative video simply because I made it while I was in Alabama, so it was one of those that I made one of the 3 videos I made while I was on that movie, Devil All the Time, that's released next month. Let me see. I'll post the link. Yeah. 2 taping tricks, carpets and cables. This is what it is. And I'll post that link over there. If you haven't seen it yet, I actually came up with a technique for quickly taping down carpets and allowing you to quickly, restore it. And so I did this video to show that technique. There you go. So check that one out if you've not seen it. Those are really the tricks that I have with regards to gaff tape. Paper tape is kind of the same. Actually, you know what? That's not even gaff tape, is it? That's paper tape. I promise. I'm paying attention tonight. I might just pop that Zip Fizz right now. Start focusing again. I think my voice got the better of me earlier today doing all that voiceover stuff. Anyway, nice response. I deserved it. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So we have 12 people in here. So yeah, the Basics of Audio series is one that I have coming soon. I'll also be doing, most likely, I will teach some sort of a class in the next couple of weeks, maybe the next 3 weeks. It depends on what I want to do and how I want to do it announcement-wise. I will be on the Sound Summit with Sunshines and Power Cuts this upcoming Sunday. So if you're not familiar with Heather, she's a podcaster. She lives in New Zealand. She's all about living off the grid, cutting power, and she's all about sunshine and stuff. So it's she's great, and she's going to have me on this Sunday at 5 p.m. So if you have an interest in seeing me, probably on best behavior because Heather deserves it. I will be. Let's see. I will be on her stream. So Sunshine and Power Cuts. Let me find the link to that, and I'll send it to you. Sunshine and Power Cuts. So we will be. This is her channel. And if you check it out right here, you will see on 5 p.m. I tweeted it if you're following me on Twitter, but that's her channel right there. And if you have any interest in watching me join her stream and talking at 5 o'clock p.m. on this Sunday, then there you go. As a boom operator, do you typically edit the audio you record, or is it done by an editor? It's always done by an editor. All I do is I'm part of the acquisition team, the production audio people. I simply hold a microphone and I have a bit of an argument with people who say boom operators are not mixers, because we are. We may not have faders and move them up and down and do all that kind of stuff, but I'll tell you, it is quite an art to play one boom, one microphone, push the frame on some people, get it a little farther away on others. That way they still sound even and they still don't, and someone doesn't sound like thin. One person doesn't sound overly, what am I trying to say here? Someone, everybody sounds the same. They sound close on the mic. They don't sound overly like distant. They don't sound loose. If there's a loud person and there's a quiet person, I don't want the sound mixer doing this number with the fader all the time, so I'll have to even it out. There's a bit of mixing to this, and it's quite a bit of an art, more so than in my opinion, than a mixer who's sitting there with a couple of faders and going. Because I've heard a lot of post guys say, well, I'm just going to remix their tracks. So just give me good clean ISOs and I'm happy there. But what I always try to do is make it so that way the mixer doesn't have to adjust levels on the fly. I try to think about all those kinds of things in advance. So I'm actually mixing too. But because it involves swinging a pole between multiple people and dropping it in the right place, height-wise, over someone, personally, I keep plosive-ing this mic, sorry. Personally, I think it requires quite a bit of skill to do it right. And I think that from the smaller shows I've mixed, I think it's more difficult to do that than it is to play mixer. Unless, of course, you're talking about a mixer who's doing a lot on the lavs or something along those lines. Then I think that that's probably, rivaling it. But there's a lot to being a boom operator. But yeah, I always just catch it, send it to the sound mixer, they record it, and then and then it's sent off. I finally paid Pink Noise Systems for my A10. how I didn't make the stupid mistake of buying the A10 just before the A20 launch. Oh, you hoped you didn't. Okay. I asked they didn't know it was coming for this year. Yeah. I think it's well, now that you bought it, they'll announce the A20. As soon as you have it, they'll announce an A20. And no, I don't have any insider information. I wish I knew if they were coming out with something else. But no, I have no information. I don't think that they're going to. If I were them, if I were any manufacturer and I had a new product regarding wireless, if it was not something that was going to integrate in with all my current equipment and gear, I would most likely delay it until after the COVID mess is over, simply because you don't want to have a really amazing product launch and then people say, well, we're not going to really be using that right now. We don't want to put lives on people. We're going to be too booming this, just in case you happen to get on one of those shows. So yeah, the A10 I really like from a point of view of wireless boom. It's awesome. I bought one receiver, two transmitters, two COS 11 PT, one LEMO to XLR, one LEMO to locking female TRS. Yep. Okay. The LEMO to locking TRS. Got it. Transmitters, receiver, COS 11 PT. One LEMO to XLR. Okay. Yeah, you're probably good. Actually, you might need. Will you need a second LEMO to XLR to go out of the receiver? No. Okay. Hold on one second. You have two transmitters, but you have the dual receiver. So that dual receiver, does it not take two XLR outs? Because if that's the case, you might need the LEMO, and you might need a second LEMO to XLR out. But I could be mistaken. Really hoping I didn't buy the A20 just before A20. All right. It's bugging me. Hope so. I hope. Sorry it turned in late. Can you explain quickly what the mixer's role is besides setting the gain? Well, they're the department head. If you're talking about a television show, what they usually do is they'll read ahead in the script. They'll go ahead and address anything they see in the script as quick as they possibly can. A lot of the times in episodic television, you cannot go out on Tech Scout. So a mixer has to be able to identify those potential issues when they see it in the script and then address it with producers, the UPM, or what have you. Because if they need to go out on a Tech Scout and they're going to be doing stuff there for picture and there's no representative from sound, it's going to potentially be a bad thing for us because we're going to walk into something and say, wait a minute, no one has pre-planned to shut all these refrigerators down. Yeah, well, if you would have told us on the Tech Scout, I wasn't on the Tech Scout. So, and I actually had someone tell me that before. They said, yeah, well, if you were, if you would have mentioned this on the Tech Scout, and I said, I wasn't on the Tech Scout. And that was actually what was also funny is I had recently taken over for another boom operator who not only didn't go on the Tech Scouts, but I was only on that crew for 2 days at that point, and they had Tech Scouted like the previous week. So I said, I wasn't on this crew, and I don't go on Tech Scouts. So that's not a valid excuse. You should have been thinking about sound before you went and decided that here's set, there's going to be your generator, your tow plant. That doesn't work. When in the world do you ever put a generator directly in line of sight from set up on the street right there? Not even blocking on the other side of the house that we're shooting towards right there. Just move it over there. Well, how are we going to route power down here? Run it along the curve and then run it over like you always do. It's like, and we made them have to actually move that generator to the other side of the road and then run it again. And they weren't very pleased with us, but so what? They should have been thinking about us, right? Sound is important. Sound is half the experience of the picture, if not, believe it or not, more so. How can I get away with saying that? Well, very easily. If I'm playing the dialogue, it's going to carry the story, right? Not only is it going to carry the story, but people are going to be humming the music. They're going to be thinking about the, dialogue. They're going to be laughing about the one-liners. They'll maybe say, oh man, that was really cool to look at. But I'll tell you, if there's a fight scene and the picture does not match the punches, if someone falls off a building and hits the ground and it doesn't make a bone-crunching smack, you're like, you know, like this. If it just kind of, if someone hits and it sounds like a dummy, you'd be like, wait a minute, that did not sell right. That didn't work right, because sound has to reinforce it. It doesn't work unless it sounds like it looks. So that's the reason why I say it could very well be over half of the experience, depending on what you're doing. So what the mixer's role is, if you're on a television show, just to continue with that thought, is they'll look ahead at the scripts. They'll of course mix the show, and they'll provide, you know, in general, a mixer's job is to provide a mix track that the director, Video Village, and everybody can use. They'll also be using that mix track for the dailies, and hopefully be using that for the movie itself or the TV show. A lot of the times, the post guys I've been talking to for the past year, maybe longer, have been telling me that they remix a lot of the ISOs anyway. Because it's not that they don't like the mixer's work, it's just that they have more control over it. And that way, if they want to do some tricks to eliminate a background noise, or they want to play with dialogue isolation or something like that, they can do that kind of thing. And so if that's the case, then they'll just do that. Now, the one advantage you have in the movie world is that you will also usually be part of Tech Scouts. Movies have prep. They will be prepping longer in advance. So you'll get a script. You'll say this is going to be an hour or 2 hours, hour and a half or 2 hours long. And you'll be in prep for about 2 or 3 weeks. You'll go to meetings. You'll talk to people. You'll go out on Tech Scouts. You could address a lot of things in advance. It also goes a lot slower pace. So you have more chances to actually get in there and put in more plants, work things out regarding your booms, or, you know, rehearsing, whatever you want to do. But that is an advantage you have in the world of features. It's a lot slower pace, for one. So you usually have a chance to do the Tech Scouts. That's the big one that I would say is the difference between feature and television mixers. That and the fact that you have to, you might have a slightly different workflow with regards to getting your dailies out at lunchtime, sending those out, and then as opposed to at the end of the day. It may be different in feature world, but maybe not. I mean, it depends on the show. It depends on the network, if it's a television show, that kind of thing. So hopefully that answers your question, though. But a mixer, basically their main responsibility is to provide a solid mix track that is used by the director, the producers at Video Village, script supervisor, DP if they want to listen, and that way they can listen to the live action that's going on the monitors that they're seeing. And that same track is going to be used for the dailies and maybe mixed track for the movie. Okay. Let's see. Rocky breaking the meat ribs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about that old video where I said that, you know, and that's exactly true. I mean, when Rocky is punching the meat in the first Rocky movie and you start to hear him snapping ribs, you know the man's tough, because he's in a meat locker, freezing, and he is punching away at that meat. And, you know, it takes a lot to break a rib on a cow, and he is doing it, which is amazing. And, you know, Paulie's even like, you're breaking the ribs. And, you know, every time I think about that scene and think about him breaking the ribs, the first thing that goes through my mind is wanting to get an entire rack of ribs and putting it out on the grill and just letting it go for hours and just doing a nice, I want ribs now. I need ribs. I need ribs now, but I can't have them. It's 11:30 p.m. I don't know any place that has ribs. Actually, oh man, you know what? I so want to do this. I so want to do it. There's a place called the Santa Fe Cattle Company. It is a restaurant. You can find it like in Alabama, and I think there's one in like Nashville or something like that. It is a very, very well priced. It's not overly expensive, but I tell you, it is so good. When my grandmother died a few years ago, my grandfather and I took a road trip to Alabama to sprinkle her cremated ashes over her parents' grave. When we went out there, we had no idea what this little small town, you know, what was good and what wasn't. And so we asked the guy who worked at the hotel, we said, what restaurant's good over here? And he said, do you like meat? And we said, yeah, love meat. He says, then hands down, Santa Fe Cattle Company. And we're like, okay. All right, thanks for that. Anyway, we leave, we drive up and down the road, not knowing anything about anything. Finally, on our way back, we happened to see the sign for the Santa Fe Cattle Company, and we're like, should we take that guy's opinion? Because he was very weird. He was a young kid, just maybe he wasn't that informed. I don't know. We should maybe try it. You want to try it? Yeah, sure. I mean, at this point, we'd already driven around for about half an hour, didn't find anything. Yeah, might as well. We walked inside. It smelled wonderful. And we ordered this plate. I forgot what they called it at the time. It was like a cowboy platter or something like that. It came in with ribs. It came in with barbecue chicken. They came out with sausage. Every bit of it was cooked to perfection. After they came to the set with some extremely tasty biscuits, they gave salad. They gave a roll. I mean, just everything that was amazing. And it was like $16. We're like, we get all this and you're bringing more stuff for $16? And they're like, yeah, of course. And we're like, keep it coming. I mean, this was the most amazing thing. We ate all of that meat and we're just like, that was awesome. I mean, I want to go back. That was years ago. I want to go back. And if anybody lives out in Alabama or Tennessee or something like that, knows the Santa Fe Cattle Company, and I tell you, it might be one of those things that I might have to do a road trip to one of those locations. And if you want to try to go and grab some ribs and sausage and barbecue chicken from this place, man, I think they have steak too. And it's just, if you want to join, invite me. I'll be willing to take a road trip for that. It's awesome stuff. Okay, as a boom op, do you prefer cabled boom or a transmitter on the mic end of the pole? Well, ideally in a perfect world, you would have a counterweight on your boom. So that way your transmitter would not be on the microphone end, it would be on the other end to help counterweight that. That's not normally an option this day and age. It is, but if you want to use some of the really cool mounts like the A10, they don't really have a mount that's going to be ultra compatible with going in the rear of a boom. So personally, I like having my microphone and transmitter on the microphone end rather. The reason why is because I like being able to take the boom, put it down in the caddy, walk to set, address something, grab the boom, toss it out, and it's ready to go. No cable management. I like the fact that when I take it and I put it up in the air, it gets the transmitter up high. You can also get a right angle SMA, so the adapter. So that way the A10 goes down, and so the boom pole goes this way. The transmitter puts the antenna down this way. But as soon as you go horizontal with it, that transmitter antenna is sideways. So you can get a right angle. So that way it will actually angle upwards. So that way, it does, and it will be like this when you have the pole vertical. As soon as you go up with it, it will vertical. It will make itself go vertical, and that way it's going to be aligning with the polar pattern. It's going to be awesome. So personally, that's what I prefer, is to have. I used to really like the sound of a cabled boom. I still do. There's still nothing better. You can hear the full dynamic range and all that kind of thing. And you don't have to worry about your gain staging because the mixer is going to take care of that. The thing that I kind of had a revelation and had to change my opinion about was years ago I was doing a show, and they ended up, the rigging gaffer, I believe it was, came to set, and he, from the ground, moved a condor and hit a Georgia power line. And that instantly sent a surge of 33,000 volts. Is that what it was? 33,000 volts, yes. Went down through our entire line, fried the mixer's cart, fried the DIT cart, fried everything basically that was connected up to that. And I was on set with a boom duplex cable from Remote Audio. It was on my belt. I had just disconnected it. I was putting my gloves on, and I had to reroute the cable because we were turning around. So I just dropped the cable. I was putting on my first glove while talking to the camera operator and saying, now, if I were to run my cable right around that edge, would you see it right there? And we hear the big loud boom. And we're like, what was that noise? And we all kind of say, that was kind of close. That was kind of weird. What was that? Then we hear another big loud boom. And an AD and one of the PAs comes in, and they're like, everyone get out of the house, get out of the house, get out of the house. And we're like, what's going on? What's going on? That boom right there was the power arcing and frying and just sizzling out everything. So it ended up being that I was only about 10 seconds away from being electrified because everything that was connected up to that sound mixer's cart was electrified. And the Cat 5 cable that he had going out for his picture cable is what carried and it blew out the connector on that. And it routed over to the DIT cart and fried out there too. That cable, by the way, was an industrial military grade Cat 5 cable that was very reinforced. And it had so much power going through there and so much heat built up instantly that the Cat 5 cables on the inside arced and they pushed through the insulation on the outside of the cable. So if I was still connected up to that cable and it routed through me, boom poles are lightning rods. And I already said I don't boom with gloves. The ground on the EMC connector that I use goes to the chassis of the microphone, which also routes in, and it would most likely have shocked me. So yeah, I don't play with that anymore. I don't do cabled booms unless I absolutely have to. It's one of those things that's almost a deal breaker for me at this point. Because, yeah, I don't want to get fried. I actually don't have a video of the moment that it happened, but I do have a video that someone took because it took about an hour for Georgia Power to get out there and shut down the power going to that house. And so I have a video that was taken of the sparks, blasting away on the side of that house. So it's actually one of those, it's actually a video that is, it's not on my SoundSpeed channel. It's on a different channel. Let me see if I can find it real quick and I'll share it in chat. It's unlisted, so you're not going to be able to find it, but it was, yikes. That's one of those things that could have been the end of me if something didn't, if I didn't disconnect when I did. Why is my internet going so? It logged me out of YouTube. I'm still in this live stream here, but it logged me out of YouTube. What is going on? YouTube has acted up so goofy in the past. Now it's logged me back in automatically. All I did is hit refresh. It said sign in, and now it's not. We have gremlins here, I tell you. All right, going to switch accounts, and I'm going to try to find that video clip. And if you're wondering, it's 33,000 volts. Search across your channel. Power? No. Fine, let's just go searching. I'll find the video and I'll post it. Don't worry. It'll just take a second. There's a lot of videos on there. Okay. Sorry, I'll get back to chat here in a second, but I do know where the video is. I just don't know what it's labeled. Yeah, oh, it's 38,000 volts. That's why 33 didn't work. Okay. Here it is. Get shareable link. Here it is in the chat. I'm dropping it right now. That was what it was doing for a good hour plus. It was just sitting there sparking away. Not a fun thing there. And you could see how aggressive that sparking was. And that's the way it was for a good, that was what it was for a good hour. Yeah, maybe a little bit more than an hour until Georgia Power shut it down. So there's your answer. I prefer to have a transmitter on the end of the microphone. Sounds to me, immerse my in the scene, make me forget the outside and dive into the movie. A great steak without salt and seasoning, useless. Yeah, I tell you, man, I'm a huge steak fan. I love it. And if you can get yourself one of those, like, what are they? It is a salt block. It's a Himalayan sea salt block. If you can get that and you can tolerate the slow warm-up process that it takes a good hour or so, cook a steak on that. Oh, man, it's so good. It makes it so good. And I used to cook in the house on a salt block a lot. I mean, a lot in 2017 is I think when I started to lose my patience with it and just was like, okay, I'm going to heat this one up faster. And then all of a sudden it would snap down the middle. I'm like, crap, there goes my salt block. And so then we got another salt block and I lost my patience with that one too, sped up the heating process too much and it snapped too. So garbage. I need to get another one though. I will eventually. Okay. So, man, the typos make me look lame. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read them, but just like in the past, luckily my nose is not itching just yet. I don't know why my nose normally itches when I do these live streams, but my contact lens, my right contact lens is bothering me again today. It just is I need to just take him out, put on the glasses and be done with it. So Larry's YouTube channel. Hi, Larry's YouTube channel. How's it going? Thanks for coming out here. What do you do about the cart getting fried? Well, I'll tell you. Here's a fun bit about that. The hard drives on the DIT cart were spared, so he had alternate monitors that he brought out. He brought out one monitor, I should say. That might have been the one that was going to the vanities. No, it wasn't being used. He had another monitor that he brought out. He split it four ways or 2 ways, whatever it was, and split it so that way the Video Village and everybody could see it. But the sound cart was completely fried. So, and I have pictures of that too, someplace. So what he ended up doing, as soon as we went back to the sound trailer where we were basically hanging out, where that video was shot, by the way, we looked at it and said, okay, yeah, it was up there. What we ended up doing is talking about it and saying, well, we looked at the sides, said we have 2 more actors that we would need to have, live on today. We're going to need to get a recorder. We're going to need to basically get a working kit. So we looked in the car, we looked on his trailer, we found an old PR72 system, and we found transmitter for IFBs. We were able to find enough gear, with the exception of another recorder, because his backup was also on the cart that got fried. And we essentially called up True Audio. I called up True Audio. I said, so we need 2 lavs, we need 2 transmitters. We have the lavs, actually. What we needed is the transmitters, we needed the receiver, and we needed to have a recorder. And so I called up True and I said, we need this done urgently, as quick as you can. We just had a major, all of our gear got fried. We're trying to save the day here. And they said, okay, well, we'll get on this as soon as we can. And I said, I'm going to go ahead and send Transpo on over there. So I called, the utility called Transpo, had them go out there, and they were waiting for them. So the second the order was done, they were on their way back. By the time they let us into the building, after Georgia Power had shut down everything, camera got up pretty quickly because they were all on battery power. And they got lighting back up. They replaced, I think, 1 or 2 of the fried, fixtures or whatever. And then they said, okay, well, we're ready to go. And we hadn't even had the truck arrived just yet. But as soon as that truck arrived, it was all hands on deck. Me, Matt Derber, the utility, and Aaron Siegel, the sound mixer. We all threw all that gear on there. As soon as it was on the cart, powered, ready to go, I ran to set, had the boom. The transmitters were already, now that I think about it, the transmitters were already on the actors. So that wasn't an issue because they were not, connected up via power. But the receiver, we definitely had to get. And so I think once the gear arrived, we were back up in 5 minutes. So I think total, we might have delayed the show maybe 15 minutes. But considering that all of our gear got completely toasted, and we basically saved that shoot day, the rest of the shoot day, by basically booming everything and using 2 lavs for the rest of the day, it was after lunch, so it was probably like another 4 or 5 hours, but we only had that location for that day. It was an extremely expensive location, and they had to pay out a very expensive lot. They had to shut down an intersection. They had to do a whole bunch of stuff that was pretty expensive. So they were like, we really can't afford to have to come back here at some point in the future. Is there anything we can do to save the day? And we're like, we're already on it. Well, okay, what are you doing? Well, we are already on it. Let us finish talking about this and we'll tell you what the plan is. But you know, ADs are always going to sit there and be watching. And if not, they're going to be like, you know, on their phones, you know, listening to you and this kind of thing. So anyway, we were able to save the day and got everything back and going, which was amazing. But yes, it was dangerous. I'm glad I wasn't fried too. So the link, did I not post the link? Try hitting. Yeah, it's up there. There's the link right there. Garbage. What is wrong with this? YouTube is acting up so badly today. I'm going to try this one more time. Of course you use the... Oh, man. Okay. I tell you, I wonder if it's because... I'm going to have to go back into that account real quick. I'm going to have to see if it was set to private. Because I didn't want it... the last time I showed it, I didn't want it to spread all over. Let me go back over because it may have been set to private, but that's okay. I at least know what it was called now, so I can find it hopefully pretty quickly. Yeah. Let's see. No, it's unlisted. This should be it right here. I'll copy it and I'll put it in chat again. I don't know why it didn't go. Like I said, YouTube's been acting up on me. There you go. See it? That's the same exact link. Okay, you see it. All right, good. All right, YouTube is starting to irritate me tonight. That and the fact that my contact lens has been driving me crazy pretty much all day. So there you go. What is this? Okay, my B I meant is the added weight of having the transmitter on the end of the pole, preferred handling noise of having internally coiled cable. Okay. I'll tell you this. It doesn't, if you use something like the A10, it doesn't add a whole lot of weight to the end of it. And the weight that it does add, you get used to it because you try not to go over your head with the boom if you don't have to. So operate more from here if you can. That way you're not taking your hands over your head. You're more at rest for most of the day. It allows for quicker swinging. It allows you to do better. And then I also use the boom swinger. So it's, if I can, I'll do that a lot quicker than anything else. And I usually prefer to have the transmitter on the end of the microphone. Cable wise, cable is still copper. I mean, it still weighs quite a bit by the time you have a good thick cable that has good insulation and good shielding in it. And that copper weighs some stuff too. It has a weight to it. And I think that in my video about comparing the weight between transmitters and cable, I think they were about the same. It basically added about the same amount of weight to the end of the pole. So I see, looks like death. Yeah, it was not a fun thing. But that was what, about 6 years ago? 5 years ago? That was Halt and Catch Fire Season 3. Yeah, that was it. So, fun story. Me almost getting electrocuted on set. And one of the big things is that you have to keep in mind if you ever work on the bigger shows is the bigger the shows are, the more day players you're likely going to have in the like electric department, for example. And if there's day players, chances are they could be newer people. And if that's the case, you really have to be careful with regards to gear because somebody's going to end up doing something goofy and frying something. It's happened to quite a few of my sound mixer friends that are on bigger shows. You know, movies usually. Yeah, zip this. No more questions already. Tell me I'm not going to end this live stream early. Man, we've been on for only 49 minutes. That's okay. I could actually watch a movie. If anybody is in my Discord server, which I can post a link to, We could watch a movie. We could jump into I could make a video channel. We could watch a movie. The other day, I decided I was going to DJ some 70s, 80s, and 90s music in the server. Now, granted, Discord quality is only like 96K. It wasn't great by any means, but we ended up doing, I just basically, I was trying out a tablet that I have a DJ program on. It crashed at one point, but I mean, part of it was that I was trying to test it out. I'm used to the controls, the full, controller thing, and I scaled down over the years. I don't do that anymore. And I might get maybe one DJ gig every year or two. And most of the time it's MC stuff. I can get on a mic and easily start blabbing away and talking. You know me, I can talk. And I can get up in front of an audience. It doesn't matter if there's 3,000 people. I've done that before. I'll get on a mic and I'm not the least bit nervous, probably because I am who I am. It's like I'm not self-conscious. Look, I know that I'm by no means attractive. I know that my personality is probably the best thing about me. I know that I'm nothing to look at. I'm not going to pull a woman's eye. I'm not going to be anyone that someone would call cool. I know this about myself. And because I know that, I'm not self-conscious about it. I don't think, oh man, I really wish I was, no, I don't sweat it. So the way I look at it is it's all good. It's all fun. And, basically, as far as I'm concerned here, I am who I am. So I have a blast just doing things like, talking to people, having just a lot of fun, geeking out and, I'll talk to people. I'll call out people. I'll just have a lot of fun. That's the way I ride. So I'm trying to see if I can find the link to SoundSpeeds, the Discord. Server settings, maybe? I'm looking in Discord right now. Invites? No, where is it? Invites. This thing is crazy. Oh, invite code. It has no invite code. I tell you. I don't know. It's actually in my videos. 1 second. It's probably in the video description of this video. Let me find it real quick and I'll link it. So if any of you happen to be on Discord, you want to jump in voice chat or something like that, we can talk there, or we could watch a movie or some show or something together. I'll at least provide the link in case you have Discord and you have any interest. You can hop in there and we'll geek out, because this live stream is I'm floundering, man. I'm not answering much. I'm sure I'm not being the least bit entertaining. My eye is driving me crazy. I want to take these contact lenses out. And Gerg is here just to have me say goodbye, I guess. Here we go. There's the Discord server for anybody wants to hop in there. I'll probably jump in at about midnight. Right now it's 11:53 my time, so that's 7 minutes from now. I'll jump in the voice chat. We can talk, and if you want to watch something, we can watch it together. If not, we can just talk and be funny. What is the piece of equipment that you always forget or used to forget? I'll tell you, I really don't. I really don't forget that stuff. It's one of those things that I usually say, wait a minute, do we have that here? Do we have it here, or is it back in the trailer? And then we'll have to go get it. But that's usually the way it goes. I don't really have a piece of gear that I usually forget because I'm pretty prepared. I have a lot of redundant stuff. So there you go. Okay. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and call it there. I appreciate you coming out. Sorry, I've not been the least bit entertaining, but I think it was really, in all honesty, I think it was YouTube making me pretty angry as soon as I first tried to come in, because I had to respond to an email, and I wasn't able to do it because I spent until about 7 minutes before the stream started just trying to fix the streamer settings because YouTube had completely made me mad. So how would you rate the A10's TX RX self noise level? Top notch, very, very low. Is it up there like they say it is, or is it just, in your opinion, a better system that rests the rest of the crap out there? It is an awesome system. The self noise you're not going to hear. You'll hear the self noise of the microphone before you'll hear the self noise of the A10. And I'm not kidding about that. I have heard the self noise of microphones before, and I do not hear the self noise of the A10. It could be because it has a DSP, and that's upgraded with the firmware. I answered your question, Cuisined. So I didn't go anywhere. But yes, the A10 is extremely dead quiet, very quiet. Using an MKH50, I could hear the self noise of the microphone over the self noise of the A10. It's higher on the self noise of the 50. So there's your answer. All right. Well, if you have an interest you are on Discord and you want to jump in voice chat, by all means, come on in there. We can talk. We can jump in and watch a video. We can watch a movie, whatever else. I'm going to be up for a while. And as soon as I take these contact lenses out and put on these glasses, which I absolutely hate using, we'll do that. But y'all take care. And I rented the A10 the other day, and wow, it's amazing. Yeah, it's absolutely awesome. Just bought it. Awesome. I need to get B&H I need to get on with them as an affiliate, because I could probably make some pretty good sales if any of y'all wanted to ever buy any of that kind of stuff through those links. Anyway, all right. Well, y'all take care. Thanks for coming in. See you next time.